Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. What is peace in your understanding? Anybody want to try? Prashantata.
There's no conflict.
No conflict. Conflict between what? Relaxed. Very good. That is also an attribute of peace. Very good. No agitation, relaxed. Excellent. Okay. If we come to know that some of our friend or relative is lost, on the same day in the WhatsApp, everybody put rip, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. What is peace means? That also we will get to know in this chapter. Okay? Does it mean that we are not peacefully living here now? Peace comes only after we die? Huh? So actually, we will be in a more disturbed state after the death. Second chapter will give you all those details. Keep watch. I'm just alerting you so that you can capture that information. Okay? We are relatively more peaceful. No matter what kind of fuss we do here, we are relatively more peaceful here. Peace is less in heaven or hell. We will get to know that in the second chapter. Okay? So a brief note on the mercy killing. When some of our family members, especially when they are old and ridden with a disease that is extremely painful every day, every minute, and doctors also don't have any control on it, should that person go through that suffering every day, every minute in front of us? And how long they should suffer like that? It may go on for months and years. In that kind of situation, some people think, let us give him or her relief by simply injecting poison. Let's give them relief from the pain, suffering. That is called mercy killing. It is legalized in some countries. In this country, it is not legalized. But his question is, what kind of category it comes into? Any guess so far? His question is, last time we talked about types of death, right? Normal death, abnormal death, supernormal death, and within the abnormal death, accidentally, dying in the war, suicide, all these kind of types of deaths we talked about it. So his question is, where does the mercy killing comes into? That is his question. Anybody want to try? What category it comes into? Accident, war, murder, or supernatural, supernormal? Unnatural, big category. Within the unnatural, we have 4. War, murder, suicide,
Murder.
Any thoughts? Any other thoughts? Okay, and the marks go for murder. Give Narmada and Nagesh big round of applause. So you may put tags in front of killing. Whether it is a mercy killing or honor killing, it is a killing. There is no doubt about it. But honor killing is a different matter. It is an ego factor, egoistic related killing, right? But mercy killing, at least we have sympathy on the person. The person is going through excruciating pain, and it looks like a favor to the person suffering, right? It looks like as if we are doing a favor by relieving that person from this unstoppable pain, because even doctors are also not able to control the pain. In that case, it looks like a mercy, it looks like a favor, but it is a killing. Who are we to kill anybody? Simple question.
No, but if the person insists also.
Okay, that is even better question. What if the patient begs for relief? What if the patient begs for the relief? I am not able to bear this pain all through 24 hours every day. Please do something to kill me. Put a pill on my face or give me poisonous injection somehow. Even if the patient begs, who are we to kill somebody else?
But we can't
Right?
give life, so we don't have even.
Yeah. When that kind of situation happens in a family, definitely it is a painful situation, no doubt about it. But that doesn't mean that we can show mercy and kill somebody. Killing is not mercy. It's not our job to kill anybody. Okay? So, they are destined to experience that suffering through some disease or a disease that cannot be controlled by doctors or something. They have to pass through that suffering. We already talked about suffering. Suffering is not always bad. Right? Suffering is not always bad. So, sometimes suffering helps them. Yes, physically it is excruciating pain, but this pain helps them to push them spiritually advance towards their goal. Having experienced that level of suffering, it helps them to go faster in the spiritual path. So it may be on a worldly aspect, it looks like a hell. It looks like a terrible thing to watch. But spiritually, benefit will be more. More suffering, more benefit, spiritual benefit. By no means we should kill anybody under any circumstances. Watching that person suffering every day is also painful for us. It's not only the patient is suffering, it is so heart-wrenching to watch our relative, maybe our father or grandfather, going through this level of pain. It is horrible for us also. And we have to go through this suffering. We have to experience this suffering, and the patient has to experience heavy suffering. But by no means mercy killing is justified. In some countries maybe it is legalized. But it may be legal, but it is not spiritual. Simple. Good question.
So the consequences will be borne by the doctor who gives his life.
Her question is, the consequences will be borne by the doctor. Why should they do the MBBS? Right? For a doctor it is only a duty. That is a group thing. The group of people, that's a group of people who voted for it, who wanted for it, who which government passed it, whoever behind that idea, they have to suffer. It goes into their accounts. So his question is, if somebody is on the coma situation or terrible disease they are suffering from, and sometimes the doctor declares that brain dead, if you want to donate organs you can do it, and they give the permissions, fill the papers, and they donate the organs to the other patients and they save their lives. So donation of these organs and saving multiple lives sounds good, sounds great, right? But as a result, what is happening to this patient? When we remove those organs, we are saving multiple lives, but here this person is dying. That means we are becoming responsible for the death of a human being. Although your intention is good, the idea of donation is good, we are becoming responsible for the death of somebody. We should never do that. Let the person naturally die, and then after that whatever you can donate, you donate the body parts. You can donate the whole body for medical students to learn about the physiology and all that. Correct? So after death you do whatever donation is possible. Just because you can donate more organs, don't remove them and be a reason for somebody's death. And in another case, suppose if the family is a poor family, they cannot afford to keep the person in ICU every day. They have sold all their jewelry, they have sold their houses, their lands, everything. They have sold everything and they don't have anything to sell. They don't have any money. They go to the doctor, sir, we are bankrupt. We cannot support ICU charges. Do whatever you want to do. The hospital will say, okay, we have to, if you don't pay, we have to remove the support. As a result, patient is going to die immediately. It is not our intention, but we don't have the resources. In which case it's okay. It's not a sin. Very sensitive matter. There is a whole lot of difference between what is legal and what is spiritual. There are certain things, they may be correct according to the law. Law will not punish you, but you will be punished spiritually under the law of karma. That's what we are going to learn in later chapters. How the law of karma works. Your country may pardon you because they have created a rule that it's okay to kill that kind of person. Your country may pardon you, but law of karma is not going to pardon you. You have to face the consequences of it. So that we will discuss in the later chapters. Lots of good information in there in the other chapters. Yes.
So in continuation to what you just now said, there is more they can do. That is understandable. But if it is the doctor's opinion that this person, we are just keeping on ventilator. So as long as he's there, he's alive, once we can continue. So now the thing is, the professional people are giving you the feedback that you can remove. So you still say that you should not take the decision to remove? Is that the conclusion of what you're trying to say?
Not necessarily. If the doctor says there is no use continuing on that one, that is doctor's decision. You don't have any responsibility, and it is doctor's duty to tell the patient and patient relatives the truth. That's this treatment is not going to help. That is his duty, and it is not a sin in that case. Good question. You follow that? What if the doctor suggests that continuation of treatment is not going to help in this case? So it is better we remove the support. That is the advice given by the doctor. That is doctor's duty. Doctor has to make the patient relatives aware of what is going to happen. If they don't do that, doctor is faking just for the money, right? So doctor did doctor's duty. In that case, we can honor the doctor's decision and let it happen. No sin, because it's not our intention, it is not doctor's intention. Intention matters in spirituality. What is ghost is the question.
Soul without body.
Without body.
Soul without body. Okay, very good. One answer there. మీరు ఏకీపిస్తున్నారా? ఓకే, ఇంకా
Works without brain. Works without brain.
వాట్ ఈస్ వర్క్స్?
Without brain.
Without brain, no. No, I will explain. Any other tries, quick tries? So we discussed several types of deaths. Death by accident, death in war, death by murder, death by suicide. Right? Not everybody will become a ghost. Only those who commit suicide, they become ghost. Now, what is the difference between a normal death and an accidental death and a suicide death? After the death, in our spiritual composition, what is that we are losing? Physical body, 100%. Yes, that's all. That's all we are losing. Everything else remains. The soul will be there, your mental body will be there, your subtle body will be there, but it will work only 50%. The other 50%, there is no business for it. So it remains in the dormant state. Right? That is the formula for a dead body. After death, our formula will be modified as soul plus mental body plus 50% active subtle body, 50% non-active subtle body, plus consciousness. That is our formula after the death. Whether it is natural death or accidental death, death in war, death by murder, or supernatural death. In all these cases, formula is same. Even in the case of suicide, it is the same formula. After suicide also, the formula is same. But the experience will be different. What they go through after the death with this formula is different. Okay. In other cases, we call this formula astral body. In case of suicide, the same astral body is called as a devil, ghost, spirit, or blah blah blah, different names. What is the difference between other deaths and the suicide? Significantly.
They go to heaven and hell.
Yeah.
And the person who dies by suicide, he can't go anywhere. They are stuck in this cross world.
Any other tries? ఆత్మహత్య చేసుకుంటే నరకానికి వెళ్తారు. ఓకే, ఇంకా
mental impressions ఉంటాయి.
మెంటల్ ఇంప్రెషన్స్
కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది.
అన్నిట్లోనే కంటిన్యూ అవుతాయి. మెంటల్ బాడీకి ఏమి కాదు.
It is trying to manifest its desires through some other physical.
Yeah,
You will struggle.
by taking the medium, physical medium. Yeah. In case of suicide, the biggest difference compared to any other death, whether it is natural or unnatural, the biggest difference is the suffering in the process after the suicide until they get their next body is more than the suffering that anybody gets in the hell. Generally, we think the highest suffering is available in the hell. That's why we kindly ask our friends or people who annoy us to go to hell. Right? Because we want them to go through that level of suffering. But this suffering after suicide is worse than hell suffering, Baba said. That's the biggest difference. And the duration they spent before they can get the next body is unusual and very longer. Baba said it takes multiple ages. One age is equal to 12,000 years. Multiple ages depending upon what kind of reason behind the suicide. So that's about the suicide. Okay. And only in such case, only in case of suicide, we refer to that astral body, the soul without physical body, like he said, that astral body. We refer to that as a devil, ghost, spirit, or whatever. Do ghosts harass other people? According to Baba, the answer is yes. Devils, did any devil occupy you, is the question. When I asked in Telugu, nobody raised their hands. What about in English? Did anybody experience the occupation of devil or ghost? I still see. It happened to you? Okay. So yes, it can happen for a few people now and then. But generally it is not a very drastic scenario, dramatic scenario like we see in the movies. With throwing all the hair and then making eyes big, shouting, screaming, yelling, this kind of dramatic scenes generally we don't see in the normal life. Those occurrences are extremely rare, right? But they do occupy and they leave. If the desire is very small, we don't even notice when a devil occupies. Our behavior will be slightly abnormal. Instead of eating 3 sweets, maybe on that particular day we may eat 6 sweets. 3 for us and 3 for the devil. Like that. In which case we don't notice. We think that I like sweets, maybe today I am sugar cravey, that's why I ate 3 extra. We just justify our behavior like that. It may be in a ghost occupation also, not necessarily. But in extreme cases, stories will be like this. So the point is, Baba says, devils do harass. Yes, you have this picture in the printout. Please open that. We will spend a few minutes discussing on that. This diagram is about the unbroken journey of life. The unbroken life, the journey of the life, is depicted in this picture. In this picture we have 2 circles. One is a small circle and the bottom is a big circle. The small circle is an indication of God state. And this God state, again we have broken that down into 2 states. One is a deep sleep state indicated as DS, and other state is wakeful state indicated with W. Okay? So when the God shifts from this deep sleep state to wakeful state, when the God is in the deep sleep state, there was a question, who am I? And once he got the answer, he was wakeful, and the answer is, I am God. So between this question and this answer between who am I and I am God, this entire universal process happened. How? When a God questions himself, who am I? Only God is existing, there is no universe at the time. There was no universe. There is nobody else around God. When God asks, who am I? Who will provide that answer? He himself doesn't know, and there is no second person, there is no universe. Who will answer that question? So at least we need one more person to say that, oh, you are God. You are in a deep sleep state. That's why you don't know. Actually, you are God. To tell that, we need at least one more person there, right? But if one more person exists, it is opposite of God'shood. God is infinite. If there is a second person, we cannot call God as infinite, can we? If there is a second person existing who is not God, then we cannot call God as infinite. But God is infinite. When God is infinite, it is practically not possible for anybody else to exist other than God. So, God imagined the other person through imagination. That is possible. Through imagination, you can do anything you want. You hardly getting marriage alliances. You are going and seeing the girl, and the girl is saying, I don't like this guy. This is what happening on the earth. But when you sleep, you can marry the princess. You can love and have a romance with the princess, and then you can even marry the princess. Anything is possible in the dream, is it not? Anything is possible in the imagination. So similarly, God subjected himself to an imagination in which he himself imagined as many. As a result, this entire universe came into existence. Of all these souls, now we are taking the story of one soul in this picture. What is happening here? I marked the intersection between these two circles with O and N. O represents the Om point, which is the entrance of the universe, which is the beginning of the universe. N stands for, any guess? Excellent. N stands for Nirvana. Okay. With the Om point, this imagination started. And what was God's original first imagination? Anybody? Gas forms, liquid forms, and all that. For the sake of simplicity, Baba always referred stone as the first form. Doesn't mean that it started with the stone. You are right. Yes, gases and liquids are also there before that. Even before gases, subatomic particles are also there. Molecules, atoms, subatomic particles were there. But just for the sake of simplicity, Baba always referred stone as the first form. Okay. So that's how God imagined. God's first imagination was a stone. Later imagination was metal. And later the imagination got further matured, like trees, vegetation, insects, aquatics, birds, animals, humans. That's how the imagination got evolved over a period of time. So in this, the stone has taken the birth. I mentioned that as B for birth, D for death, right? It taken the birth, God lived as a stone for some time, and then dropped the stone body, death. Then moved on to the next form. Again birth, again death. Once it comes to the humans, in between death and the next birth, you also have an additional process called heaven or hell. That is represented with H, letter H. And this process repeats 84 lakhs times. And at the end, finally, we leave our physical body and we leave our mental body and subtle body also. We keep only soul and consciousness by the end, after Nirvana. That N stands for Nirvana. After Nirvana, we are left with only soul and consciousness. Now the consciousness says, I am God. He raised a question, he got the answer. So all this universal process story happened between this question and answer. So the idea of bringing this onto the table is, we never died. In this whole process between who am I and I am God, we never died. What is dying is only our physical body, and it is not dying for once. Already it died for millions of times as stones, metals, trees, insects, worms, all these millions of times our physical body died, but we never died. This is what we talked in the last chapter. So now I brought a picture to help you the same concept. Any comments there? Clear?
24 lakhs ప్రతి దీంట్లో యానిమల్ నుంచి
Human life cycles 84.
84 lakhs ఉంటాయా టోటల్?
Anybody want to help her? Her question is, are only human life cycles 84 lakhs or every category 84 lakhs?
Every category 84 lakhs.
Okay.
Human life is 84
Because the devil is troubling him. Okay, I heard, actually I don't know the precise answer to that one. I heard in God Speaks, I think Raghu can help. Raghu, the question is, the human life cycles 84 lakhs, we all know that. Her question is it same number for all categories, stone, metal and everything? For all categories 84 lakhs. Thank you, Raghuji.
It is explained in Nothing and Everything book.
Okay. Okay.
God speaks, says 5 crores in that.
Okay.
That means each and everything has been taken 84 lakhs.
Very good. So you got your answer. Thank you, Raghu. Now, we discussed about real dream, false dream, right? And then real birth, false birth, real death, false death. These 3 pairs we already discussed in detail. Now one more pair, real life, false life. What is real life? What is false life? You guys want to make any guess? What is real life? What is false life?
Real life is living after realization. And the false life is the journey towards realization.
Okay. In this diagram, the big circle shown containing all lives starting from stone to the last human life cycle. This is all false life because this is imagination, right? It's not real. Living as God is only real. Living as God is only God is real, and this entire universal process is imagination. That's why it's not real. It is a false life. Okay? Now, don't get down realizing that, oh, we are living a false life. This is essential. It is very, very essential to wake up ourselves and to know that I am God. This is an essential process. This process is very, very helpful. As you can see in the diagram, between this state and that state, if universe is not there, God will continuously asking, who am I, who am I, who am I? He will never get the answer. So this universal process, whatever we are going through, helps to realize our own identity as God. So just because it is false does not mean that it is bad. It is very, very useful. That is the significance of universe. That completes the first chapter, where we talked about the death. Its significance. Death also has a significance. We learned that death is a milestone. It is a stepping stone. It is a gift, somebody said, yes, right? It takes you one step closer to your godhood. These are all the various aspects of the death. Types of deaths we discussed. What is the experience difference in all these types we discussed. We discussed particularly about the suicide. We talked about devils. Do devils harass or not? All these aspects we talked about. Okay? That completes the first chapter. Now we will be entering into second chapter. Yes, sorry, I missed it.
I said with this physical body, with mental awareness, we cannot predict the correct desires of our loved ones itself, like what our children want or what our parents want. To some extent we can, but not the exact desires of the other person. You just know your desires, not the other person's in totality. So how does the devil understand, like, I also want to eat veggies or whatever your example?
Right.
How
Right.
does it relate to our desires?
Good question. Her question is,
How can it identify?
Yeah,
Ah.
how can it identify?
right. That detail Baba did not give. I did not find, at least in the literature I went through. So I should not share my own opinions. I can share a guess. I can share my guess. What I guess is, suppose if I am devil, I will try with somebody, and if the matching does not work, I will leave that body and then try with somebody else. Trial and error. That is one way. Right? So that's my guess only. But Baba did not give that detail. Yeah.
That's why it's taking.
That's why it takes thousands of years to finish that journey. To finish the remaining desires.
So slow easy, you can finish up in this.
Exactly.
4 years only you can finish.
Exactly. Okay? Good questions.
You have given something called wakeful state.
This is 500 rupees question.
Deep sleep, wakeful state, రెండు ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్. అది అడుగుతుంది wakeful state అంటే.
What is
Okay.
wakeful state?
అని అడుగుతుంది.
How do you know? I mean, you know something in the wakeful state, or how is it? Like we knew that Baba is Anta. So he was in the wakeful state? Or
Yes.
he's in the human form still. So how do you distinguish between that nirvana to wakeful state?
Okay.
That's the question.
To know the deep sleep state or to know the wakeful state, we have to wait for some time until we finish the 84 lakhs life cycles.
You have to experience that.
Exactly. This cannot be described. God state, whether it is a deep sleep state or a wakeful state, it cannot be explained or described.
It is as same as
It has to be experienced only. Only your own experience as God will answer both the questions. What is the deep sleep state and what is the wakeful state? Once you get the God realization, then only you will get the answer. Until then, nobody can give answer to your question. See, in this, her question prompts me to say one more thing. Her question is about how the deep sleep state of God will be, or how the wakeful state of God will be. Nobody can explain that. Nobody can explain that. You yourself have to get the God realization, completing 84 lakhs life cycles. When you realize yourself as I am God, then that will be an answer to all the questions. Until then, nobody can answer. There is no way you can describe or explain the God state that is shown in the small circle. Whereas we can give lots and lots of explanation for this universe, which is false life, right? All God speaks is about this universe only. The entire God speaks is about this false life only. All these discourses are about this false life only. To awaken. God speaks is an architecture of this universe. What are all the various stages, in every stage what happens, that's God speaks. While going through these stages, how we are supposed to think, how we are supposed to live, how we are supposed to behave, that's discourses. Discourses is like a guidebook, how to do the travel in this journey. God speaks is like a road map. Where is what, how to go from here to there. God speaks is a road map. Discourses is like a guide. But both books are about universe only. Both books are about false only. So we can go hours and hours about the false, not a single second about God. God can be experienced only. It cannot be understood or explained. Okay? Very good. Good. Are we comfortable with the death? Is there any fear about death left yet? Good. We died so many times, right? So, the better we die, even more times faster, so that we can get the God. Yes?
Devil possess అయిపోయింది అన్నారు కదా. Possess కాకుండా ఎలా అవాయిడ్ చేయాలో బాబా ఏమన్నా
Ah,
advice ఇచ్చారు.
Excellent question. I don't think I can get into second chapter today, but we will see. It's a very valid question. Her question is,
how to remove?
okay. After possession, any remedy Baba gave? No. After possession, there are no remedies. We just have to suffer. Her question is, once the ghost or devil occupies you and you are under occupation, right? Generally it holds for a few hours only. It will not stay with us because it has a lot of laundry list. It has to finish this Mirapakai Bhaji and then go somewhere else. So, once the occupation happens, is there anything we can do? Did Baba say anything about it? So, easy answer to the second question is, there is nothing we can do once the ghost occupies. Right? Baba did not give any tips for that one. We have to suffer the harassment by the devil once it occupies. And she also carries one more question. How to avoid the devil? Okay? That is something we can do. If we can avoid, we don't need to worry about how to get rid of the devil, correct? So, how can we avoid the occupation of the devil?
Having no desires.
Okay, why the devil is occupying us? To fulfill its desires, which we also have. There is a match of the desires. That is why the devil is coming. If you don't have any desires, if you are living a nishkama life, dispassionate life, there is no room for devil to come and occupy you. So the best way to avoid devil occupation is to live a nishkama jivanam. What is the composition of devil? Spiritual composition.
Subtle body, mental body, soul.
Soul.
Samskaras.
Mental body has samskaras, yes. Consciousness. And half subtle body. Half subtle body. Right? What is the formula, spiritual formula for the human beings? For us? Soul? Soul? Subtle body? Gross body? Mental body? Consciousness. 5 things together. Right? Now, can we rewrite this formula as soul plus mental body plus half subtle body and another half subtle body plus consciousness? Can we write it like that? I am dividing this subtle body into 2 halves, half plus half. Everything else remains same. Can we do that? Just mathematically for the sake of understanding. Right? Now, in this, soul plus mental body plus half subtle body plus half subtle body plus physical body plus consciousness. This is what we have. Now, in this formula, remove the physical body and half subtle body, make it inactive. Make it inactive. The remaining formula is the ghost, correct? So, can we call ourselves as ghost plus half inactive body plus physical body? Can we say that? Ghost plus half inactive subtle body and physical body. We just modified the formula. What does that mean? What does that mean? There is a ghost in every human being. There is a ghost in every human being which harasses ourselves and anybody around us. Baba said, if at all ghost occupies you, it occupies you for an hour or 2 hours, maybe 4 hours, maybe one whole day, and eventually it will leave. You are relieved from that suffering and harassment from the limited period, but we are continuously harassed by our own desires. Every day, I want this, I want this, I need to eat this, I need to wear this, I need to go there, I have to see that one, I have to buy this one, Amazon, Flipkart, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, what not. These are all the harassments we are suffering every day. This is the most important message. We are harassed by our own desires, and we also harass our people around us. To live a peaceful life, all we have to is drive our desires out, drive the devil out by driving the desires out. That is the message of the day.
मेहर बाबा, मेहर बाबा,